Welcome to Adeliz, the Cinder win. As far as opening hand goes, yes, I love it. We've Goblin Electromancer, Grim Lavamancer, a lot of Mancers in the hand. Dualcaster Mage, we'll keep on this one. See what our opponent said. Hey, oh, best of luck. You too. We just played against our opponent. I played against our opponent. They played Teferi, and then they got the Chain Veil down and comboed off really quick. Or I think they comboed off. It was one of those things where there's just a lot of activation, so I saved them some time from doing some stuff. Let's go and crack Bloodstained Mire. Let's go and get down Volcanic Island. Let's get down Grim Lavamancer. And I absolutely love the art on this card. Look how pretty that is. God, it looks good. Let's go and tap out for 1 red. I get that down, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing Adeliz, the Cinder win. Blue-red Wizard Prowess. Flying in haste, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, wizards you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. We got some partner action on our opponent's side of the board, playing against Thrasios and Tymna, which I will cover in just a second. Let's go ahead and get the island down. We could be online for Charted Course if we wanted to. I really like getting this reduced cost. It kind of puts us in a spot where we might be able to go for Dualcaster Mage. So let's get down Goblin Electromancer. It's going to be 1 blue and a red. Get that down. Let's go and push in for 1 on our opponent. We don't have to really worry about any sort of flash options at 1 total mana from our opponent. Go and swing in for 1, knock them down to 29, and then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. Playing it's Tymna and Thrasios. We have Thrasios. It's going to be a 4 mana activation. Scry 1, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, draw a card. Playing it's Tymna the Weaver. Lifelink. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you may pay X life, where X is the number of opponents that were dealt combat damage this turn. If you do, draw X cards. And if you haven't seen Thrasios, if you haven't had the pleasure of playing against Thrasios in time, it tends to be a 4-color good stuff deck or 4-color control stuff. So always ends up being a pretty fun match. Not gonna lie. I think my win percentage against these partners is always it's pretty bad. So we're gonna try our best to get out from underneath this one. It's going blue-red, but you know, never know. Might be able to get some good wizards going, get some good spells going too, especially with the Electromancer out there. Do we want to push in? Let's push in with Adele. And there's nothing in the graveyard. We could push in for 2 with Electromancer. We'll just go and leave it up. Let's go and push in for 2 in the air. Let's knock our opponent down to 26, and that will be 2 total commander damage. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, as far as next turn goes, if we do hit the land drop, that does put us online for going something like Charted Course. If we want to actually copy it with Dualcaster Mage. Actually, our opponent ended up going for Oust, so that's going to take care of Adele. So we'll get Adele pop back up. And then we also got Wastelanded. Okay, so we're going to miss out on our blue land on that one. Very nice. Luckily, we draw into Arid Mesa. I'll take that. Sometimes the magic gods help you out sometimes. Let's go ahead and crack Arid Mesa. We're going to have to shock on this one because we definitely need a blue source. Let's go and shock Steam Vents on this one. Knock us down to 29. Now, we have a couple different options. We can just straight up go for Charted Course and also go for Frantic Search. It's going to give us a reduced cost. Let's say that we go for 2 untapped 3 lands, Charted Course. That's going to be us burning a lot of our spells out of the hand. Let's do this. Yeah, because I'd hate to just get rid of all of our prowess spells. Exile 2 cards from your graveyard, 2 damage to any target. So that's going to kind of keep us off of Thrasios. Let's go and push in with Goblin Electromancer. Yeah, I like that. Let's go and push in with Goblin Electromancer. Yeah, because for a second I thought that Grim Lavamancer, we had to exile instant or sorcery. So with us having a few lands in the graveyard, that puts us in a spot where we can go for Grim Lavamancer activation on Thrasios if they're doing a blocking on that one. Okay. You know what, let's go ahead and go for Charted Course. It's just going to be 1 blue mana. That's going to allow us to draw 2 cards, and then next turn we can see if we can't go for something like Frantic Search. We draw 2 cards, and since we did attack with a creature, that'll put, ooh, there we go, Failware Stone. I'll take that. That's going to be 1/2. Get that down, and that'll kind of help us get out from underneath that wasteland in our land. Then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, as far as the deck goes, if you did not see the deck tech, what are we doing with this deck? This is pretty much just blue-red prowess. You know, we've got a lot of good wizards in here. One of the fun things about playing this deck is you got to kind of find this good mix of good utility wizards and creatures that can swing in. So you get to run fun stuff like Grim Lavamancer, Goblin Electromancer, and stuff like Dualcaster Mage, which kind of gives you that additional bonus of copying some of your spells to give that power and toughness bonus to your creatures. All right, see what we're drawing to. We can get that Reliquary Tower down. Nivix Guild Mage, okay. And you know what, let's go and go for Adele. I think I like that. We might be walking into some sort of spot removal, but I'm okay with this one. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for it. Let's cast Adele. It's going to be blue. Let's go and tap out for blue. 1, 2, and then tap out for 3. And that really kind of keeps us open next turn as far as what we want to go for. Like I said, if we're walking to a counterspell, Mana Leak, yep, that's fine. Go for it. It's going to take care of Adele. Not going to pay for that one. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. We can go and swing in for 2 again if we wanted to. Yeah, actually, we're just going to go and leave up Goblin Electromancer. We don't have any mana. We can't really buff any sort of play from Grim Lavamancer. And definitely want to leave Electromancer on the battlefield if we can. Okay, so now Dale has been sent back to the command zone 2 times, so we're kind of in the spots where we need to start hitting our land drops. So that's one of the downsides of this deck is you want to get as many creatures on the battlefield and time it to where you can kind of start casting them to give a really good board state. But since we're getting picked apart by opponent, what we're going to have to do is just really kind of start using some of these not to their full advantage. So let's go and get down Cascade Bluffs. We're looking at Frantic Search. We can flash that in with the reduced cost. And then Swords to Plowshare got hit on Grim Lavamancer. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and hold priority. We're going to go for Frantic Surge. Let's go and tap 3 lands first, though. Let's go red, and then get some of this filter mana going. So we add a little bit more blue mana to our mana pool. Tap down Reliquary Tower, and that's 3 lands that we have tapped down. And let's go and cast Frantic Search. And let's go and go for Dualcaster Mage. Okay, we're going to flash in Dualcaster Mage, make a copy of Frantic Search. That's going to allow us to kind of end up with a little bit extra mana on our side of the board. If they have another counterspell, so be it. Counterspell, okay. We'll be able to get down. Eventually, they've only got 2 cards in the hand, so hopefully we can kind of get some sort of card advantage going off of this one. Draw 2 cards. Ooh, Young Pyromancer. That is absolutely wonderful. Let's go and get rid of, at this point right now, I actually like both of these, Young Pyromancer and Delver. Let's get rid of Nivix Guild Mage, and we'll get rid of Turnabout. And we'll untap 3 lands. Let's go and untap Steam Vents, Cascade Bluffs, and then Mountain. Let's go and get down Young Pyromancer. Let's go and get down Delver. It's going to be tapped out for that. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Not going to swing with Goblin Electromancer. And then hopefully we can get Delver to flip next turn. And we'll kind of break it down once our opponent gets their turn going. So we got hit by a lot of stuff by our opponent. We got hit by Mana Leak, Swords to Plowshare, Counterspell, and Oust. So hopefully we can get some more electrics to Fairy. Okay, +1. Put target non-land permanent into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. Okay, but hopefully if we can draw into some sort of instant or sorcery spell, that's going to get Delver of Secrets to go ahead and flip off of that one, and then also start to give us some of these elemental tokens that we desperately need. Now our opponent did go for the +1 off to Fairy, so draw a card, and then at the beginning of the next upkeep, untap up to 2 lands. So let's see what we reveal off of the Delver trigger. What we revealed off of that is going to be Lightning Greaves, so we're not going to reveal that one, but either way they're going to see it once we cast it, so we don't necessarily need to go for that. Adele's going to be, we're looking at for Adele, it's going to be 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're actually 1 away from getting Adele back down. Let's get Lightning Greaves onto the battlefield. That's going to be 1, 2. And they'll go and put Lightning Greaves onto Young Pyromancer. It's really important that we protect Young Pyromancer in this particular matchup. Anything else, let's go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, we do have a couple draw spells in here. Something like Pull from Tomorrow would be absolutely really good right now. It's going to allow us to kind of start digging a little bit deeper into our library. Another really good card that we do have in the deck is going to be Azami, Lady of Scrolls. That's going to allow us to start tapping some of our wizards to get some good card draw going. The converted mana cost of this deck is kind of tops out at about 2. You know, we have a lot of 2 in the hand and then 3, but very few 5-drop spells. So if we do have a 5-drop spell, it's supposed to have a really high impact on the board state, and getting down a zombie to tap a bunch of wizards to get some extra card draws is always what we're going to go for. Now let's kind of check out Teferi's ultimate here in a second. Let's get this Delver trigger going. Island, not going to reveal Island, unfortunately. All right, let's go and get Island down. That does put us online for Adele, though, so let's go and get down Adele. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once we can kind of get these wizards going, we'll be in a really good spot. Or some sort of instant or sorcery. All right, get down Adele. And then let's go and push in with Adele at Teferi. Yeah, I like that. That's fine. Maybe they have some more spot removal. But at this point right now, we need to try and keep Teferi in check. And then nothing has reached. No, that is correct. So let's go and swing in at Teferi for 2 in the air. And let's see if this is good. We'll see if our opponent's going to be tapping out on anything. If not, we'll be able to knock them down to 2. Do we want to go for the -3 ability? Yeah, let's go and put Lightning Greaves onto Adele. That's going to be our best way. Our opponent didn't have any sort of spot removal, at least to stop Adele. So if we need to keep Teferi in check, we need to make sure that Adele doesn't get tucked into the library. Now with Teferi's ability, the -8 ability, you get an emblem that says whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent an opponent controls. So that's definitely something that we're going to have to at least keep them off of that. That'll really kind of devastate our board state kind of once we go from there. So your opponent's going to go for the Thrasios activation. And that's going to be Vraska, which is going to go into their hand. Is that correct? If it's a land card, put on the battlefield, otherwise draw a card. Yeah. So they will draw into Vraska. That will put them online with Vraska to get that down onto the battlefield. To use the -3 ability if they want to destroy target non-land permanent. They could go for something like Lightning Greaves if they wanted to target Vraska with that. And then go for Adele. Now, if they do end up taking care of Adele, and hopefully we'll get Delver to flip. There's been about 3 turns that we haven't had Delver flip. So if we do get Delver flip, that'll make it a little bit easier for us to kind of start pushing it into our opponent. Now, if our opponent does end up going for the +1, excuse me, they just went for the -3, but I was going to say is if they went for the +3 off of, if they went for the +1 off of Vraska, that would make it really hard for us to kind of deal with her, especially with all these creatures on the battlefield, since that +1 makes it to where if you destroy a creature, or if a creature deals combat damage to Vraska, it will destroy that creature. But this is pretty much what Thrasios and Tymna does. This is, they make for such a good control partner ability, and especially with Smuggler's Copter. They'll see what they can reveal off the top card of our library. And then we hit another island. They're not going to reveal that one. Let's go and get island down. And I guess at this point right now, Adel's on top. Adel's going to be, let's see, it's going to be 9 total mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're still looking at 8 mana. Let's go and pass the turn to our opponent and hope we kind of draw into something. Now, one thing that we do have in the deck that does kind of help us push another game plan to kind of get a little bit extra value, something like Sword to Feast and Famine, that will give us some good protection from black and green, which is mainly what we're looking at with Vraska. If we were to draw into that or something, we could put that onto one of our creatures, but still at the end of the day, we're looking at missing out on Smuggler's Copter. Opponent's going to go for a Nature's Claim. Sure, that is fine. And this is... It's always, this is pretty much why I don't enjoy playing against Thrasios and Tymna. It is always just one of the most, but you know, this is what makes Magic Magic. You know, this is, these are all Commander legal cards. It just makes for a really hard control matchup, especially against something like this one. But we're going to see if we can't draw out of this one, or maybe find some sort of answer to help us push past this one. But our opponent has assembled a ton of really good card advantage. It looks like they might accidentally kind of skip through that attack step by accident. So, I'll take it. We need the Wizards. We need anything at this point right now. That Smuggler's Copter, and then they get down Kaya. Why not? Let's go and cross off Flooded Strand, and we'll go and cross off Vraska, since those were the reveal off of that. But yeah, this is. If you're wanting to build a control deck, definitely go for it. It's pretty fun. An opponent went for the 0 ability, or maybe which ability did they go for off of Kaya? Each opponent discards a card and you draw a card. So they were able to draw a card off that one. All right, let's get this Delver going, see what we rip off of this Delver trigger. Hopefully it's not another land. We Dragonauts. Well, that is not an instant sorcery. We're not going to do that one, no. We still be able to go and get it down, though. Let's go and tap out for that. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. It helps if we tap out for red on this one. There we go. Get down We Dragonauts, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Still sitting at Delver, unflipped just yet, so... But hopefully we'll find some sort of answer. At least our opponent will get some sort of clock going. They can definitely win the game with some of these ultimates. You know, Vraska does have the -7 ability, creating those 3/1/1 Black Assassin creature tokens, which, if this is the way the game's going to go, I'll kind of shoot this over into story time. But, so when I got into Magic, if you listen to my videos, you've probably heard this story like 100 times, so I do apologize if you have. And our opponent did reveal a Mana Tithe off of that. This is what they revealed off Thrasios. But yeah, so when I got into Magic, Vraska was the first Planeswalker. I got in during Return to Ravnica, and Vraska was the first Planeswalker that I ever bought. Because I always built like budget decks, or I would just I would draft a lot of Ravnica, and then I would just build decks out of the stuff that I drafted. And so, yeah, Vraska was the first one that actually spent really good money. I think I paid like 5 or 6 tickets for her, and I remember thinking that was a lot of money. But yeah, I ended up building like an Assassin Tribal deck with her, and that was a really fun deck, and I need to build that for the channel, at least kind of go back through some of my old casual decks. 'Cause I have a ton of old casual decks that I used to play, and so it'd be kind of fun to do like a From the Vault series, where I kind of go back and look through some of my old, you know, not necessarily commander decks, but just fun casual decks. And then let's see what our opponent's going to be tapping out for. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they got a pretty good chunk of mana over there. Destroy all lands. Okay. Here we are. We have no, it's turn 10, we have no lands, and we're just looking at Goblin Electromancer and Young Pyramids. All right, we tried to live the dream with Adele on this one, but if you're a fan of control, if you're a fan of 4-color good stuff, this I'll definitely have to go and post this video up. Or if you like to see the world burn and you like to see a bunch of lands get blown up, this is definitely the video for you. So we'll let our opponent do their thing. We'll see what we draw into, but more than likely we'll go and scoop it up on this one. That is a downside, though. But as far as the showing for Adele, I know we didn't get to necessarily show her off a lot, but as far as building the deck, we had exactly what you wanted. You know, we get down to stuff like Young Pyromancer. If we were able to cast some of our instant and sorcery spells on time, we'd have gotten down some really good elemental tokens. You're looking at Goblin Electromancer. It's going to be a wizard. It's going to get that nice power and toughness bonus from Adele and give us that reduced cost. And stuff like We Dragonauts, you know, they're going to get that +2/+0. whenever we cast a spell. Let's see what we, Sword of Feast and Hey, there we go. We talked it up, but we have no lands to use that. I'm not going to use... Yeah, we'll go and reveal it. Why not? Let our opponent show what's up. But yeah, good game to our opponent. There's definitely a... good control showing on that one, so we're going to go and scoop this one up just because we have really no outs on this one. We're just very slowly going to lose to some Planeswalker Ultimates off this one. Plus, if they wanted to, they can go for that Kaya activation and kind of go from there. But yes, long story short, we didn't get the Adele show going, didn't get the Wizards going, but this is pretty much exactly what you want to do. You know, get some good cheap spells like Chart of Course, and then Frantic Search. They go a long mile in a deck like this to where you basically get a free spell. It's going to allow you to buff your board state and get some really good card advantage, or getting down something like Sword of Feast and Fame to kind of untap some of that mana and kind of go from there. But if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed seeing all the lands get blown up, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.